Washington XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we welcome you in. Glad you're with us. The new drug today is getting a day closer, Carline. Day closer before you know it.
Open practices.
Open practices. The Jags have announced their dates of open practices. It starts with Wednesday the 23rd. Today is Tuesday the 6th. No, the 8th. So 23 minus 8, subtract, count, take your shoes off, count. Not many days.
72?
Yeah, exactly right. We're close.
We are close. And we know the first padded practice will be Monday, July 28th.
And that'll also be a day open.
I refer to that as Wyatt Milam Day.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So there you go. Jags have released their practice day, the training camp dates that will be open to the public. That's most of them, by the way. As Hayes said, the 23rd, 24th, 25th will all be open. Their first padded practice will be the 28th. That's going to be open. There, we now know there's a scrimmage on Friday night, August 1st. That'll be kind of cool. Yeah. So I love the friend. So starting August 1st, the Jacksonville Jaguars will play a football game or have a scrimmage starting August 1st every weekend except 2 until the second week of January.
Love it.
There'll be one off week before the season starts. Labor Day weekend, they're off.
Mm-hmm.
There will be one off week after the London game. And then other than that, starting August 1st, they will play a scrimmage or a football game, preseason or regular season, every week from August 1st, other than those 2 weeks, into the second week of January.
It's glorious. Did you see that the Jaguars and Gators are both off the same weekend?
I did, yeah.
I can't remember the last time that's happened. Maybe it happens a lot. But
it
has.
It often, for whatever reason, that week before Florida, Georgia, often is the Jaguars, which is always the Gators off week.
Right.
Often is the Jaguar off week too. I don't know why it played out that way, but it did. Because I kind of would like it to be off week on Florida, Georgia. You know, so we're off and go to the game. So, but it's often been that. It's often been that.
Yeah.
All right,
It's a good weekend to get away for go to Charleston or Savannah.
You're doggone right. It's exactly right. A lot of fun things to get to today on the program. Glad you were with us on our Tuesday show. Tuesday's always brought to you by the Nimnick family of dealerships. That means Nimnick Chevrolet on Caston Avenue. It means Nimnick Buick GMC, located on Phillips Highway. Okay, I don't do this much. I'm going to talk about the National Basketball Association. JJ, the Banchero deal, what jumped out at you? Obviously, he's committed for a long time. Is that a statement that the Magic think now is their time or no?
No, if you got a rookie who's really good, there's only like a max you can even pay the guy.
Right.
It's kind of like a slotted system with the NFL, so it's nothing.
Would you say it's the equivalent of like them picking up a fifth-year option?
Yeah,
like if your first-round pick has done even a remotely decent job.
You're going to sign him.
Yeah, and he's been great.
Yeah. And this is the max contract, so you're going to sign him to what they signed him to, right, JJ?
Exactly.
That's essentially what you're
The one thing that was like, I guess you could say rarer, the last person to get it was Luka, is there's a player option in the deal, so he fought for that and got it, which is...
All right.
I guess something.
But I hear what you're saying is it's not unusual for a rookie that good to get
run of the
deal.
mill.
Yeah, okay. Because here's where I'm going with this, and I don't follow the Magic. I don't care like I should about the Magic, even though they're 2 hours away from here. Part of that is I don't follow the league very closely. But whether it's completely false or real, and certainly you and I both had Hacker in here who's a big fan of the Magic. There's, for the first time, I think, and I don't know because I don't follow it closely enough, but I can tell you, I think, for the first time, guys, some like real excitement about what they might be. Part of it's the East isn't good. Part of it's they got Desmond Bain to go with the other three kind of principled guys or foundation guys and Wagner and Suggs as well. But are the Magic going to be, and I'm going somewhere with this, are the Magic going to be good?
I can't speak with any sort of intelligence on that because I don't follow the NBA closely either, but I can tell you it definitely feels like they have momentum and should feel confident. Tyrese Halliburton isn't going to play next year. The Pacers have confirmed that. We know Jason Tatum is going to be coming back from a devastating injury as well. So, I mean, in looking at it, I think if you're the Magic, you've added a nice piece, a sharp shooter that is cures your biggest weakness. They were abysmal shooting the three. I mean, they weren't just last in the NBA. They were last by a sizable percentage in 3-point percentage. So to add a player in Bain to complement the trio of the young core that they have, I mean, I'd have to think that you feel. I mean, what else do you need, Orlando?
yeah, the talk
I mean,
is
you want the Knicks to like disband? I mean, you've already seen two superstars get hurt in East elite teams. So to me, the question is, again, I don't know the ins
really
and outs.
with the Bucks.
Yeah, the Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they lost a huge star as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, it's like, what else do you? It would be the equivalent of like,
Right. So
tomorrow you find out C.J. Stroud is suspended for the first 10 games of the season.
Yeah.
And the Colts, Jonathan Taylor tore his Achilles in a private workout.
Right.
It's like, well, what else do you need to win this division?
Right.
And I think that's sort of how, if I was a Magic fan, that's how I'd be feeling, that the sky should be the limit. I mean, go and win the conference and compete in the final and see if you can win the whole thing.
All right, so assuming that is the case, assuming they're pretty good, assuming the expectations are real, and again, people seem to think the combination of Banchero, Wagner, Suggs, Bain, given their equal amount of years in the league, they're young but not kids. People think they're going to be good. So here's my question: is there a way it will matter to people around here? Or does it not matter? Because if Shaq and Penny and McGrady and Dwight Howard, if those Magic teams didn't matter a whole lot around here, is there a chance this one would, no matter what? And same question for Ocala too, JJ, in a minute. But start with you, Hayes. Could it matter around here? Or
I think it would. I mean, I think if the Magic became, like
really good.
Yeah, if they became like the next Golden State, let's say, and I get they don't have that kind of a superstar, but just if they were to have that kind of success where year in and year out they were one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the league and were able to win the title, absolutely, you'd feel it up here. You felt it when I was young, but I remember when the Magic were good, people in Jacksonville cared. People were following it. And then they've just been lousy for 2 decades. So I think you've lost some of that. But I think it would absolutely come back. I think a lot of fans in Jacksonville would hop on the bandwagon if the Magic really got to be great.
JJ Ocala's closer. Did anyone there care? Do they care there?
Oh, yeah.
They did?
I have a lot of friends that go to Magic games now.
You do?
Because it's like an hour. It's literally less than an hour some nights, depending on traffic. So it's a fun thing to do now. So I couldn't even imagine when, if they actually got to the level they were at when I was growing up. Like, that would be huge there. So, yeah, I would expect it to be here as well. Just there isn't too much to watch in general when it's, March 31st, it's just a random game on. Or when they make it to the playoffs, like, it's sort of dead around here when it comes to football season. So, yeah, if the Magic made a playoff run, I would fully expect everybody to get on board.
The Magic have been to the NBA Finals twice. They lost in '95. They lost to the Rockets 4-0.
Thank you, Nick Anderson.
And in 2009, they lost to the Lakers 4-1. That's the 2 times they've been to the NBA.
I don't know
Finals.
who to blame that one on.
Yeah. But that's who
Kobe.
Those are the 2. Those are the 2 times they've been to the finals. They've been to the conference finals. In 2010, remember, as recently as 10, they lost to the Celtics, and they won in the conference finals. What other year was it? There's another year they were in the conference semis and lost to the Pistons. So conference finals 3 times, finals twice, conference semis.
Yeah, one of those McGrady teams, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. But of all those, the one that stands out to me the most was the first one, the 95 team.
Without a doubt.
Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott, that team. That's
Shaq.
Shaq. That's the team that stands out the most. And so as I think about this,
it really is amazing that they had Shaq and Penny and completely squandered it.
Yeah. And Nick Anderson and Dennis Scott.
Yeah.
And some decent players. So the point is, I wonder, since there's a little bit of talk about it, I don't know that I think, but I hope you guys are both right, that if all of a sudden you looked up, I mean, I will say this, now they've all had great players, but, and JJ, we've had this talk on the show enough, that the teams do come out of nowhere and they're really good. Nuggets and Bucks and Thunder this year, and we have seen it.
It's really in the NBA started to become the trend,
That's
not
right.
the outlier.
That's exactly right. And so why not? Now, and again, I don't know that they have a ball dominant guy. Jalen Suggs is ball dominant, but I don't know that they have a ball dominant guy that can be like Gilgeous Alexander. And I know that, I'm following this story, and I've been following it because we've been talking about it. Part of it's because we've been doing some shows with Hacker, who loves him so much, and he's a true, legit fan of the Magic. Then I saw the Ben Caro deal today, and I'm thinking, I wonder if that would keep us occupied in this offseason. Listen, even when the Gators win the national championship, their main job is to keep us occupied in the offseason. I mean, and I love Gator basketball.
Absolutely.
But that's really the reality.
Right.
You know, I love the Pittsburgh Pirates. Everyone knows what a diehard Pittsburgh Pirates fan I am. I love it. Part of it's because they're never any good, but their job is to get me to training camp. I've always said that. You know, so I just wonder.
How are they doing this year?
They're having a hell of a year. Okay. Thank you for asking. Thank you for checking.
I think it would take a couple, just the way that fans are towards professional sports in the entire state of Florida.
Yeah.
They're very bandwagony. So, you have to really win more than just a year. Like, the Heat were winning with LeBron James, and it took them to have to win a title for people to start showing up. I think for people to really latch onto the Magic, it couldn't just be a 1 year they make it to the finals because the East is down. It has to be, hey, Paolo's one of the best players in the league. Night in, night out, they're one of the coolest, teams to watch, and they have cool uniforms. And I think it has to be constant winning for people to really latch onto them, like you're talking about.
I agree.
But that could happen.
And I also think it would need to evolve where they have a huge year this year, and then they go and get the guy through a trade or that everybody knows.
Yeah.
They go make the blockbuster move, and then and then people are super excited about it. But yeah, I also think that Jacksonville sports fans don't have a lot of this is if you're watching us on the stream right now,
we got it under control.
The other thing too is I don't think Jacksonville sports fans have any envy of Orlando, whereas I think Orlando does have just sports envy. I'm not saying city envy, but sports envy. So I don't think in Orlando they pick up when the Jaguars, when they do have success, or to reverse this, if Liam Cohen ends up being great and Trevor ends up being great and Travis Hunter and go down the line and the Jaguars are getting ready to have 6 great years of football, I don't think Orlando would adopt that because they're jealous they don't have the NFL.
Right.
Whereas I don't think Jacksonville sports fans have that with Orlando. I think Jacksonville fans are totally fine to pull for the Magic and think nothing of it. And so I don't know. I can only speak from when I was younger, but I definitely felt that the Magic had a buzz in Jacksonville when they were great. And they just, it's eerie because, and Hackers, as you mentioned, has talked about this a lot, the parallels between the Jaguars and the Magic over the last 20 years in terms of just routinely disappointing.
Yeah, and by the way, you made a great point. Lots of Orlando people love to have the Jaguars. You hear the Orlando Jaguars all the time. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say, "Gosh, I wish we had the Jacksonville Magic."
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't exist here.
Yeah. So you can we can enjoy the Magic having success, and that's the extent of it. Whereas I think it's hard for, I'm not speaking for everybody down there, but I think for a lot of Orlando fans, it's hard for them to necessarily pull for the Jaguars if the Jaguars are good, because it's a reminder that they don't have the NFL and probably never will.
Yeah. So, and again,
they're never going to have this team.
Here's the difference.
I wouldn't think the league's going to award them an expansion team.
Right. Here's the difference. We have the NFL. They have the NBA. That's where the jealousy is. So you're exactly right. So anyway, Paolo Banchero signed for many, many years. It'll be very interesting to see 5 years, $239 million, if that affects the way North Florida, not just here, North Florida, North Central Florida, Northeast Florida, follows the Jags. All right, we'll take a break. I got a lot of things I want to talk about today on the program. We've got college over and unders. Did you see that?
Yeah.
We got over and unders. You give me an over and under on a Tuesday.
It's a good day.
Ooh, that's a good Tuesday. So will they go over and under? We'll talk a little bit about that. It was interesting. I don't watch quarterback on Netflix. I hear it's great. I just don't watch much of Netflix. But Kirk Cousins finally, did you see that? He finally came out and said, yeah, what the hell were they doing? He finally said.
I think he has every right to feel that.
Well, he said the same. He finally said.
I still think it's just an utter joke how the Falcons handled that whole thing.
And you said that from day one, and I hear you. So we'll certainly talk about that today on the program. Jaguars have some dates out when you can go watch them. We'll certainly talk about what that means. We'll talk some Jaguar uniform. I got this thought about uniforms. Everyone loves to talk uniforms. All kind of fun stuff to do. So we're glad you're with us on this Nimnik Tuesday. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Proud to serve sports radio to those who proudly protect our country. 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Hi, folks. I'm Frangie, and I got to tell you, I can't fix anything. I would be so lost with plumbing problems if not for Duck Rooter. But everybody knows to call the Duck. Well, I do too. Whether it's plumbing, air conditioning, septic, they handle all of it, and nobody does a better job than our friends at Duck Rooter. Any of those needs you have, call them today, 904-862-6769, or go to duckduckrooter.com. If you've got problems, call Duck Rooter. They'll handle it, I guarantee.
Santa Claus normally avoids Florida this time of year, but not this year. Christmas in July is happening right now at Beard's Diamonds. Get up to 40% off now through July 27th. Beard's showcases are stocked with all new fashion jewelry, exquisite colored gemstone pieces, and the best selection of diamonds in North Florida. Rounds, emerald cuts, princess cuts, cushion cuts, ovals, from a half carat to 10 carats and more. Come and find the perfect engagement ring now at Beard's and save up to 40%. Beard's Diamonds at the shops at Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com.
Here's Linda Beaver.
The dog days of summer are here, and so are the hottest deals of the year. Whether you're hauling down the street, cruising on the beach, or just escaping the heat, we have the ride you're looking for and the wow you experience you deserve. Save big on select models with sizzling summer savings, low financing, and limited time bonus cash on all trades. So don't sweat it. Come beat the heat at Beaver Automotive, where the summer deals will wow you.
Storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through July 31st. And financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Eye & Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Fish know where to hide. Captain Kevin knows how to find them.
That's a big one.
Listen for the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6.
On 1010XL AM.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hey, poker players, Christmas in July is back at Best Bet, along with daily high hand promotions. This month, get ready to cash in on over $700,000 in high hands at all Best Bet locations. And ride the waves into Best Bet St. Augustine for chances to ride away on a Yamaha Wave Runner. From table games to tournaments, Best Bet has a spot for everyone. Visit BestBetJax.com. That's BestBetJax.com for all the exciting details.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren Brooks here. Summer heat is on the rise, but don't sweat it. Big Chief Tire has your back with $50 off all AC services. Whether your system needs a quick recharge or a full repair, their expert team will keep you cool and road ready all season long. With 5 locations across Jacksonville, trusted service is always nearby. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your AC service. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Hacker here, and with 4th of July in the rearview mirror now, all eyes are pointing towards Labor Day and football season. How would you like to drop some weight prior to football season's arrival? Well, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is your answer. Back in February of 2024, I weighed 317 pounds. In just a couple of short weeks, I was down almost 40 pounds thanks to the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It's that quick. The coaching you get, the information you get, it's all perfect with Awaken 180 Weight Loss, and they can change your life very, very quickly. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor and go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. Take it from me, a guy that failed in numerous diet programs over the years. I succeeded with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnicht Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnicht, your friends in the car business since 1941.
We appreciate our friends at Nimnicht. You know, it's always truck season at Nimnicht Chevrolet. Well, guess what? This month, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado. My goodness, that's a great truck. You get all kind of great trucks at Nimnicht. Nimnicht does a great job. They've done this for the longest time. They've got the trucks. They've got the SUVs. They've got the cars you need, and they've had it since the 1940s, man. I've been buying my cars there since 1982, and I'm proud of that. And I'm proud to be a spokesperson for the Nimnicht family of dealerships for all this time, all my time in radio, as long as I've done this. Before I had my own show, I was on Jay Solomon's show, live from Nimnicht and talking about Nimnicht. So they do it right. I'm proud of that. Then head to Nimnicht. That's Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue. Nimnicht Buick GMC is on Phillips Highway. Frangie and Carline with you, JJ LaSelva here as well. We got over and unders in the college realm. Okay,
Let's
you know
get
that?
to it.
Did you know we had those?
I did not.
Oh, we got them. You give
my
me
world is forever altered.
Listen, I'm having a good Tuesday anyway. If I'm having a good Tuesday and then you drop an over and under on me,
yeah.
I mean, when it's already a good day, you know, if your day's an 8.4, you give me an over and under, I'm in the 9s.
Absolutely.
I mean that's how easy it is to go from an 8.4 to the 9s for me.
Now, are we doing win totals or like player stats?
No, win total.
Okay.
Win total. I just saw this. I love over and unders. Okay, start with the Gators. 7.5
over.
Where are you going? You going over?
I'm going over. Fairly confidently going over.
Are you? Okay.
7.5?
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's a hard schedule, but I mean, I really like the roster.
Okay, you're going over.
I'm going over on the Gators.
JJ LaSelva, he hails from Central Ocala.
I'd go over there too.
You'd go over.
Yeah,
okay.
To me, there's floors probably 8 wins this year. So yeah, I mean, unless there's an injury to the quarterback, but I would say if Lagway is healthy, I would pencil them for 8 wins pretty easily.
And I think it's significant you said that because Hayes and I'm absolutely going over, but I'm an admitted homer. And you got a little homer.
Well, I mean,
in
I
you
like
too.
to, I mean, you know, again, if I didn't believe in them, I'd have no problem going under. I just really think.
No, I'm not. I wasn't going over on any of the Jim McElwain teams. I'm with you. Yeah. So,
I mean, this is where I am with Florida. Not to get us in the weeds on that, but look, I mean, I think they've got a lot of talent on both sides of the ball.
I do too.
And I would say shame on Billy Napier if he can't win 8 games.
Where you and I are different, and where I'm different than a lot. Hacker, I think's with me a little bit on this, but I think most of Gator Nation isn't. I think there's a great chance that DJ Lagway is everything you think he's going to be. Heisman candidate, really good player, championship quarterback, 31 touchdowns, 4 picks. Rushes for 800 yards. I think there's a chance he's all that. I think there is a chance he's Cam Newton and all. But I'm not there yet. What I've seen, I see great potential. I see 305-pound defensive tackles falling off him because they can't sack him, to your point. I see him stiff. I see him throwing deep balls right on the dime. I mean, 60 yards down the field in great accuracy. It's clear there's a moxie, there's a toughness about him because he played on one leg half the season. So all those things that all the Gator fans, I see him too. I see all those things too. But I also know there's a reality. He was 12 touchdowns and 9 picks. He made some bad throws. He was a freshman. And I want to make sure he can stay healthy. I mean, he's missed games. He's missed concussion time. He's missed time with leg injuries. So I'm hopeful all that can come together, because if it does, then the only question is, can Billy Napier call the right plays and whatnot? But I think they've got a lot of good players. Having said all that, I'm going over. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt in my mind I'm going over the 7.5. Florida State, the Seminoles, they hail from Tallahassee. They're in the capital, 7. Where are you headed, Hayes Carline, who hails from the Bowl School?
It's a tough call, but I think I'm going under, because I look at the schedule and I know, you got Alabama, Clemson, Miami, and Florida. I don't think you're beating any of those 4. Okay. Well, so now your best record possible is 8-4.
Yeah.
And I only need them to slip up in one other game.
Give me the 4 again. Clemson, Florida.
Yeah, home against Alabama, at Florida.
Yeah.
Miami, I'm not sure where Miami and Clemson are, but it doesn't matter. They could be played in Mike Norvell's living room.
We play in Tallahassee.
Okay. So Clemson, So Clemson, Miami, Alabama, and Florida. I mean, again, barring injuries. I mean, who knows who's going to be playing? But based on the data that we have now, those are 4 losses.
At Clemson, by the way.
Yeah. So that they have no chance of winning that game.
So if it's
I don't think they have much of a chance of beating Alabama in the opener. I don't think they're going to beat Miami. And,
the number 7,
maybe they beat Florida in the swamp, but I'd be surprised.
So the number 7, they play Alabama at Florida and at Clemson. How many regular season games are there? Like 17, 16, 17 regular? Okay. Is it still just 12?
It's still just 12.
Okay. So, all right. JJ, where you headed?
At 7, honestly, I'd take the push. I think it's going to be 7, but if I had to go 1, I would go under. But I really like that number 7. I've liked it all off season.
Yeah,
that's sort of where I am too. I think it probably comes in at 7, but if I had to go, I don't think they'll go over 7.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. That means it's a good over and under.
Right.
I think they'll lose to Virginia Tech. They'll lose to Clemson, Florida, Miami, Alabama, and then maybe like somewhere else. Like they play at Stanford.
Right.
I don't know what Stanford is, but I just know going across the country and playing in the middle of October, like I saw Miami do it last year against Cal, and they had to come back from like 20 points down. It's a crazy trip that these kids just never do. It's not the NFL.
I think they've got 2 Friday night road games. I want to say one of them is NC State.
NC State is the 21st, right before the Florida game.
Yeah, so, I mean, you go on the road on a Friday night. I mean, again, they just went 2-10. So I don't think it's that, far of a stretch to say if you take those 4 games against potentially elite teams off the board, and you're now looking at it's an 8-game schedule, and you've got to go 7-1. I don't think they're doing that.
Okay, I think you guys are right that 7's the number. I'm going to go over. Now, here's what makes it tough. You don't know their team. It's a brand new team. It's almost like an all-star team that you went and picked up, and you put them all in FSU uniforms. So I don't know their team. Okay, but. So if it's as lousy as last year's, remember, they replaced essentially everybody. I mean, it's just like it's all new. It really is. It's almost like a team of free agents. So, and I don't know enough.
What could go wrong?
Yeah. But when I look at the schedule.
Yeah, if you look at their depth chart right now, there's our lads. They like highlight in certain colors the incoming transfers. Yeah. Literally on the offense, there's 3 players, 3 starters that are not incoming transfers.
Yeah.
I still don't get why they let Kromenhoek get off that campus.
Yeah.
I will never understand that.
Yeah, I mean, same with me, because I think he's pretty good. But anyway, back to the conversation. The reason I'm going over, and I wouldn't bet any money on it, and maybe I should respect the Atlantic Coast Conference more than I do, but I look at the schedule, I see East Texas A&M, I see Kent State. Okay.
Yeah, better win those 2.
Yeah, you hope you win those 2. But then I see at Virginia, I appreciate your point about the trip to Stanford, but it's Stanford. You're home against Wake Forest. I'm sorry, I don't think Virginia Tech ever came back, JJ. I don't. So I just, and maybe I'm just living in the past, and probably I am, because I don't know how good their players are. And again, I would rather go the 7 than either. But there's something about it. I just can't fathom that this team that 2 years ago won 13 games and is this terrible again. So again, all the good players from the 13-win team are gone. All the crappy players from last year's team are kind of gone. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go over, but I agree with you guys. The number's right. Down there in Coral Gables, okay, it's a Kane thing, The number is 9, JJ LaSelva. Where you going?
I think, once again, 9's a good number, but I would say over. I think they go 10-2. I think they lose to either Florida or Notre Dame, one of those, and then just later on in the year, they always drop one they're not supposed to, and that would be like at Pitt or finishing at Virginia Tech, at Pittsburgh is just, how are they not going to lose one of those games? It's the Miami way. It's what they've been doing for the last 10 years plus. So, yeah, I'm going to say over, but I don't feel confident about it. 10-2.
Hayes Carline.
I think I'm going to go under, and it's more just I just don't trust Mario Cristobal. Arguably, he's the worst in-game coach in the country, which is saying something because Billy Napier also coaches in college football.
Does that mean, hang on. He's worst in the country. Does that make him the worst in the state, too?
Yeah, but, it's hard to argue. Yes, he came into the Swamp and had his club ready, and they looked fantastic in week 1 dismantling Florida. And they deserve all the credit in the world for that, but he just, obviously makes just some inexplicable decisions in game. I still don't know how anybody can possibly get past the Georgia Tech loss. All you've got to do is take a knee and you win the game. So to me, he is, and I can't go over with any team Mario Cristobal coaches. The schedule is, it's, you got Notre Dame. I would probably pick Miami, but it's certainly a tough game. They host Florida. I would probably pick Florida, but certainly they could win that game. I do think they'll beat Florida State. But there's enough pitfall games on here. Louisville, I think, will be solid. Now they have to go to Miami, but Miami has to go to SMU. And, they obviously believe that they can win games. You look at Syracuse, and they've got some momentum. Again, that's in Miami. NC State, Miami, at Virginia Tech, at Pittsburgh. There's enough of those games in there that I'll say that between Notre Dame, Florida, and Florida State, maybe they go 1-2 in those 3. And I definitely think they would have 1 or 2 more. I think they have talent. I'm not the biggest believer in Carson Beck after what we saw last year, and I absolutely don't think Mario Cristobal can coach.
I'm going to go under the 9.
So I'll say they come in at 8-4.
I'm going to
8-4.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, that's under the 9, right? Yeah. So I guess I'm saying the same thing because I'm going to go under 2. Here's my thinking. I think they're going to lose to Florida and Notre Dame. That's my opinion. Even though they're both home games. I think they're going to lose those games. Having said that, they would have to win 9 of the other 10 to go over. So, I think what made them great last year was Cam Ward.
Right.
I've got some doubts about Carson Beck too. So if you ask me to guess, I would guess FSU around 7 wins. And Miami probably around 8 wins.
With Cam Ward last year, how many games did Miami win?
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about this?
They also have the worst defense in the entire nation.
And that'll be better. And that'll be better.
Certainly could be wrong. I know they brought in a bunch of guys on that side of the ball. And maybe Carson Beck will have it figured out.
And by the way, this is a big year. We don't talk about them as much as we do Florida FSU. This is a big year for Cristobal because if you can come back from a year where your team, you had the best quarterback, you won 10 games, you had you just couldn't get defense figured out. If you come right back and win 10 again, remember, this is the team that went 20 years without having a 10-win season, right? Or having one 10-win season in a 20 years.
Yeah, 2017 with one and forever.
It's just hard for me to get the end of last year out of my mind. They're 9-0. And if he takes a knee against Georgia Tech.
Oh, that was 2 years ago, bro.
That was 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I know that you're all like, I get that happened, but to say he's the worst in-game coach in the country is
I'm probably not
a stretch.
I'm
for
probably
me.
not there. I think, but what I do think, and I do think,
well, they were 9-0 last year, and they won one of their final 4 games.
Yeah, right. They collapsed at the end of the season. But here's where I am. But I do believe this. When we talked about the coaches, the hot seat, the whole bit, Norvell squarely on the hot seat. I think Cristobal and Billy Napier this is a real critical year for them. I mean, real for how people are going to.
For all 3 of them, yeah.
Well, Norvell, more critical, he's on the hot seat. Final one, Georgia 9.5. Where you headed, Hayes Carline?
Over. Yeah.
JJ, where you headed? 9.5. Georgia.
Under. I think the quarterback situation in Georgia is a catastrophe, man. And their schedule is brutal, dude.
Yeah, I'm coming with Hayes on this. I just can't. I agree with you. I just have to see them them win 8 games before I believe it. Now 9 would be under.
They've got so much capital built up with me over what they've become that it's just hard for me to see them losing 3 times.
They just did not impress me at all last year, and that was with a quarterback. Yeah. Their offensive weapons last year were terrible. They led like all of college football in drops. I think they're going to lose to Florida this year, so I can't take the over for Georgia.
Yeah,
the other thing with Miami last year is it also they had like the Virginia Tech thing, like they won the game 38-34, but that could have been a loss very easily. I just Miami worries me because for what could be an elite team, it feels like they don't put the mediocre opponent away.
Well, I don't think they're an elite team.
Yeah. But I think, well, again, this year we're really gonna find out about Mario Cristobal and Billy Napier more than ever before. We'll take a break. We got more things to talk about. I love this. I'll go over and under on you all day long. Back in a moment. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
You know Dan Hicken.
My ignorance amuses me.
And you know Jeff Prosser.
Hey, at least I'm housebroken.
The Drill.
So why are you guys here anyway?
Because flakes taste better in the morning.
You eat what you like, I'll eat what I like.
On 1010XL.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is poured at Southern Coast Seafood, now open Mondays. Enjoy craft for $12.99 a pound on Tuesdays. Drink Brackish Wednesdays with $1 oyster on the half shell. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka made right here in Jacksonville for whatever your sport is. If your sport is crab at Southern Coast, your vodka is Brackish. Southern Coast Seafood, now open Mondays. Brackish Vodka, proud partner of the Jaguars.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
As a contractor, finding reliable subcontractors is key to project success. Prosser here. Guys, that's where Lloyd's Heating and Air shines. Not just your mechanical HVAC experts, but your partner, understanding every facet of construction to keep your project on track. Lloyd's will spot issues early before they cause delays. If you're a contractor with a need for reliability, visit LloydsHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air, keeping you comfortable in every season.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso Spine and Joint Pain Specialists.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. Whether it's a long day on your feet, a demanding workout, or everyday aches and pains, you need relief that can keep up when pain persists. Aleve is here for you with longer-lasting body pain relief compared to leading OTC-branded pain relievers. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
Coming soon, Pine Royale, a fully illuminated synthetic par 3 course built for day or night play. Plus a driving range with TrackMan Tech for virtual courses and interactive games. Mini golf, restaurant, and bar all in one place. Whether you're a serious golfer or just here for good vibes and great food, Pine Royale brings fun nonstop. Smash a burger, a bucket of balls, and even a night round under the lights. Grab your clubs, your crew, and your short game. Pine Royale is coming soon off I-295. Learn more at pineroyale.cc.
If you missed it, get it on demand.
And you send those out on the line.
Find your 1010XL favorites where you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com. Channel 5. Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Get ready. The Jacksonville Rock Orchestra brings to life the magic of Fleetwood Mac. Like you've never heard it before. A 27-piece symphony fused with a full rock band, performing timeless hits like Rhiannon, Dreams, and You Make Loving Fun. One night only, July 11th at the historic Florida Theater. Get tickets today at floridatheater.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. One of the biggest changes we've seen in fine jewelry over the last 25 years has been the growth of jewelry designers. At Underwoods, we're the leader, bringing to North Florida the best names in designer jewelry. In fact, we carry designer lines in a similar way to how clothing stores carry designer labels. The difference is that jewelry designers have to be a little more timeless in their presentations because nobody wants to buy a fine piece of jewelry only to find out the next year it's gone out of style. That's why you'll find at Underwoods the best of the jewelry designer names, those that are tried and true and popular. Names like David Yerman, Roberto Coin, John Hardy, Marco Bichigo, Jude Francis, Lagos, Hippolyta, and a lot more are all available right now at Underwoods. So if you want the best looks in designer jewelry, stop by Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, Hammer Time with Hayes. Driven by Kia on Atlantic. Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic. Check us out at KiaOnAtlantic.com.
Well, we've identified the softest athlete on the planet, and his name is Grigor Dimitrov. He's a tennis player. He retired yesterday at Wimbledon, holding a 2-0 lead in the match over world number 1 Jannik Sinner. They were in the third set, tied at 2, when Dimitrov said he had a pec injury and retired. Again, a 2-0 lead in a match over a strong world number 1. Look, injuries happen. Why shouldn't we believe Dimitrov here? Because it's the 5th consecutive Grand Slam tournament that this man has withdrawn from. He is retired in his last 5 Grand Slam events. It's the longest streak by any man in the Open era. He retired from the Australian Open in January, the French Open in May, last year's Wimbledon, and last year's U.S. Open. That is shameful. I mean, gut it out at least once in a while. These fans are paying big money to see you. They deserve to see a result. You cannot retire 5 consecutive Grand Slam events. He is the softest athlete on the planet. Case closed.
You're saying he didn't tough it out?
I mean, come on. And this may be, look, he may have a legitimate pec injury now, but you can't tell me that this man has had 5 consecutive tournaments. So he's either a gambling accomplice or he is the softest athlete ever.
Let me ask you this. Well said. Where is Wimbledon on your look? I know what you like. You like football and golf.
I loved it as a kid.
Okay, I know. Well, I did too. But where is it now?
It's on a scale of 1 to 10. It's a 0.5. I mean,
so none of the tennis.
I'll pay attention now to like Ben Shelton. I mean, when I say pay attention, keep up with his match as it goes. I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, now if he gets to like the final maybe or something like that, But yeah, I mean, it was something I loved as a kid. I would lock in the entire fortnight, watch it in the morning, and then go play with my friends in the afternoon. But yeah, it's been a while.
JJ, how about you?
Since I've gotten into it.
No, I used to watch it. I was a big Sampras guy. I hated Andre Agassi.
Yeah.
But no, I loved Andy Roddick too. But honestly, since Federer and Nadal and Joker just started destroying everyone, I've been out on this era. It's a great sport, and I love playing it. I play tennis a lot. I just don't watch it.
Yeah, I said this. I've told this story before. In the 70s, tennis was bigger than golf. People don't understand that.
Right.
In the 70s, it was all the rage. Ask your dad that one, JJ. I mean, it was all your dad too.
Mm-hmm.
It was
tons of celebrities.
Yeah, I mean,
the players became huge stars.
Even in the 80s, I would say tennis, maybe the first half of the 80s.
Yeah,
tennis was still, I'd say, king over golf.
Yeah, in the 70s, I mean, the 70s, golf had Nicholas Palmer, Gary Player, maybe Trevino, about it. Tom Watson, that was it. You didn't know anybody else. There may be some. If you were a diehard golf fan, you might know a few other guys, but for the most part, that was what golf had. They didn't have nearly the celebrity status that Connors and McEnroe had, that Bjorn Borg had.
Chris Everett and Navratilova.
Correct. And so, but golf passed it, and the shame of it is, to JJ's point a minute ago, some of the greatest players of all time have played recently. You know, Federer is probably the greatest to ever play. You know, Joker is probably the greatest to ever play. Nadal, to have those three in the same generation, I don't know that tennis ever had that. I don't know that Connors, McEnroe, Borg, later on Yvonne Lendl and McEnroe. I don't know that we ever had three great players, right?
It was deeper, I would say. It wasn't as it was strong at the top, but it was way stronger, like seeds 5 through 9.
Yeah,
than the Federer, Nadal.
Yeah,
Joker
I can tell you in the 70s, there was a guy named Roscoe Tanner who wasn't one of the top players at all, but he had such a powerful serve. You all knew that Roscoe Tanner had the 100-mile-an-hour serve, you know? So, I mean, you knew the different. You knew Arthur Ashe. You knew all the stories of Arthur Ashe. And so you knew Stan Smith, who wasn't one of the top 2 or 3 players either. I could run off guys, and I just don't know. And now, and let me correct myself. Tennis fans know all the guys now. But I'm not talking about tennis. I'm talking about casual sports fans knew him then. And so I, you know, because Alcaraz, because Sinner, because there's so many really good players coming up, I want to watch it. I can't get there.
I want to watch these Americans.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I want to get back into it because I see the Americans doing so good.
Yeah.
It's also a slog to watch. I mean, like a men's tennis match, you're going to be, if it's a good one, be ready for 4 or 5 hours, man. It's not a joke.
And I will say, and I had this on my sheet a couple days ago to talk about, or yesterday to talk about, I think Ben Shelton's presence in all this might get my attention because he went to Florida. I mean, if Ben Shelton went to UCLA, I would barely know who he was. Just for me personally.
Yeah.
But because he went to Florida and we know his story, if he becomes the best player, if he catches on, because obviously he's knocking on the door, if he becomes the best guy, I will probably watch for that reason. I'm trying to think what other Florida athlete, Gator athlete, that I watch that elevated me to watch a sport that I ordinarily wouldn't have watched. Maybe some of the swimmers, you know, I mean, the Olympics, but I'm trying to think. There's never been a Gator golfer because I always watch golf. Now, do I watch closer when Billy Ho plays? Maybe, but not. I'm watching it anyway. You know what I mean? It's not like I wouldn't watching it otherwise.
I guess Clayton Jr. will really be the test case.
And he will be.
Yes.
And I was going to get to that. I will probably watch the NBA more because of Walt. Because so that probably.
I do remember when Noah, Horford, and Brewer were in their rookie years that NBA season. I paid a lot of attention to how they were doing. Like, it was tough to watch them, but in terms of like always checking to see, what their stat line looked like, I was really invested in that. And then it kind of faded after, a year or two.
Yeah.
It's hard because, you don't really have like a Georgia fan would have a lot of golfers, that they could point to and say, on tour, I pull for, they've got, 3 or 4 guys.
They have a lot on
Sepp
tour.
Straka.
And a handful that are really good.
Yeah. But I'm right there with you. I mean, it's in terms of if Ben Shelton played it for any other university, there'd be a little bit of an interest because the Americans have been so just stunningly inept,
right?
In tennis now we basically lost a generation. I don't know how that happened, but how this country could go 20 years,
2003 actually,
and not produce a world-class player, somebody that can go win a Grand Slam event, is beyond belief to me. So maybe we're starting to come out of that. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's the matches take a long time to play out if it's a competitive match. And for me, it's lost its luster. But I loved Becker's run as a kid. I loved Sharapova's run from however many years that now was, probably close to 20. I mean, she was like 17 at the time.
She was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. It was a big deal.
So, I mean, Wimbledon is certainly an event where you can get caught up in it. And look, maybe that'll happen. Ben Shelton actually is supposed to face Sinner in the quarterfinals. And this is the other kind of aside to that Dimitrov story. So Sinner got hurt early in the match. So he may not, he's like not practicing today because they're awaiting MRI results on his elbow. So you don't want to see Ben Shelton advance, through a retirement, but there is a chance that worst case scenario, he's seeing a Jannik Sinner that is not going to be 100%. So, we'll see. It's hard to get wrapped up in a guy advancing on a retirement, but if Sinner plays and if Sinner looks like himself and Ben Shelton's able to defeat him as the 10 seed, then you could start to see that wave as the tournament concludes. Here's
what's interesting back to the history of tennis and American tennis. To JJ's point, the Sampras years were great for USA. He won Wimbledon 7 times.
He was like the record holder of Grand Slams when he stopped.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was married to Bridget Wilson. I think he still is. Actually.
And there's that.
Yeah.
But he had 7. He won Wimbledon 7 times, right? You think of McEnroe and Connors back in the day, they didn't win 7 between them.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that?
Yeah.
They won 3 and 2. So you don't realize how dominant the guys that played after that era were.
Right. And Sampras was a grass court sort of specialist,
right,
if memory serves. So I think McEnroe and Connors were maybe a little bit more well-rounded isn't the word, but maybe
on a faster track like the U.S. Open.
But yeah, it was a great era, and it just seamlessly went from the McEnroe Connors era to the Sampras, Agassi, Courier, Michael Chang won a French Open, and I mean that was one of the most improbable things I've ever seen as a sports fan. I mean, he's serving underhanded.
Wow.
I can't remember his injury, but he got hurt in the French Open and was serving underhanded in a match against Lindell, who at the time was, one of, if not, he might have been the number 1 player in the world. And Chang defeats him, goes on to win the French Open. That was really Michael Chang's kind of lone moment, at least that I remember. But yeah, I mean, American tennis was deep and in a lead. And then, you had Roddick was sort of a man on an island. He was like the only one, and then it just kind of
and he was only good at serving.
Correct.
I loved Roddick, because he was the only American after that Sampras Agassi era. But man, every match was the same for him. He's going to win all of his service games and lose all the other games, and he maybe win in the tiebreak. And he did get that 1 Grand Slam. He won the 2003 U.S. Open, which is actually the last men's tennis Grand Slam by an American. That's insane. 22 years at this point.
Pretty hard to believe. By the way, to your point, Connors has 5 U.S. Open titles. Now, so does Sampras. But Sampras was a good grass court player and a hardcore player.
There's an emotion to a great tennis run. Like what Jimmy Connors did at the U.S. Open when he was in his late 30s.
Right.
I think he beat, was it Krickstein? Was the match that he sort of remembered for in that run. When Jimmy Connors made that deep run in the U.S. Open, to maybe the semifinals that year?
Something like that, yeah.
He didn't win it.
Right.
But it was...
he was older.
But so I like tennis for that. Like it has the ability to create these really magical moments in sports. And, maybe this additional will give us that. But it's not going to give it to us from Grigor Dimitrov, who can't make it through a tournament without quitting.
We'll take a break. Those Jaguar players aren't soft at all. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about training camp. Talk some quarterbacks as well. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
What's the deal with the show? The 1010XL Podcast Network is now available just about everywhere you find podcasts.
I mean, I think the show's going to be a huge hit.
Search for your favorite 1010XL podcast in your platform of choice.
Hi, it's Frank Frangie. You hear my buddies Dan and Jeff talk about that great food at Daly's Dash all the time. Jeff loves that Duval, and Dan loves the Boss. And they're right, both are terrific. But I can tell you they have so many excellent options at Daly's Dash. Salads and flatbreads and tacos and quesadillas, you name it. And of course, those fantastic subs and sandwiches. I just had the Italian sub. It is so good. The thing is, Daly's Dash is really committed to their food and committed to making it perfect for you. Everything is fresh, made to order every time. And there's so many Daly's locations in town, no matter where you are, there's one near you. I love to pop in and grab a sub at lunch, or maybe after a round of golf, or maybe even after calling one of those Jags games. There's never a bad time to stop into Daly's Dash and grab that great, great food. So head there today. Take it from Dan and Jeff, or take it from me. They say it's nicer here. It really is. And the food is delicious. Head to Daly's Dash today.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple of years ago. Went smooth as silk. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast. But Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
It's a magical phone line.
Check this out.
It brings you things you can't get anywhere else, like insider insight from sports experts. Listen for the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Check. Every day on 1010XL.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Hal Sutton when he famously said, "Be the right club today"? Well, that's what Coil Fencing delivers. The right fence today. And they've been delivering the right fencing for both commercial and residential properties for nearly 100 years. If you're in the market for a new fence, call Coil & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
Tired of high energy bills? Well, replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. Don't miss Renewal by Anderson's summer sale. Buy 4 windows or doors and get the 5th one free. No money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months, but this offer expires July 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
If your house feels like a Florida swamp and your thermostat's just throwing out suggestions, then it's time to call Duck Duck Air Conditioning.
They showed up fast, fixed it right, and even cleaned up after. My house is finally chilled, and so am I.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com. When your AC is stuck, call the Duck.
We've all seen great overtime games and thrilling finishes, but when it comes to having a big time, knowing when to say when is key. Budweiser reminds you to win the day and night by designating a driver. That's a victory every time.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
North Florida is growing with lots of new families joining our community. If you're one of them making the move here, your next move should be a call to American Electrical to create the best home automation system, enhancing your living experience. There are many ways your life can be made easier through smart home technology, voice-activated systems, automated lighting, total house temperature control. With American Electrical, they've got everything you need to automate your home and make it your true oasis. Check out American-Electrical.com, powered by professionalism and raising the excellence bar.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter, Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Walter Clayton Jr. and the Utah Jazz played in their second game of the NBA Summer League last night, where Clayton experienced some early season rookie struggles. Jazz Summer League coach Scott Morrison decided to bench Clayton in the first half, saying that Clayton was playing a little too nonchalant. Clayton shot 1 for 3 in the first half and turned the ball over 5 times. He got another chance in the third quarter, making a handful of plays. Morrison added they would not have won the game without Clayton's second half performance. He finished the night with 4 points, 6 assists, and 3 rebounds in the Jazz's 112-111 win. The Shrimp will start their series against the Norfolk Tides at VyStar Ballpark tonight. Right-handed pitcher Nick Nastiri will make the start for the Shrimp with first pitch at 7:05. It's 87 degrees at 5:02. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
10XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnik Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Man, we appreciate our friends from the Nimnik family of dealership. Man, you can experience that professional grade at Nimnik Buick GMC, which is the home of the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. And this month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s. That is pretty doggone good stuff. Nimnik Chevrolet is on Cassett. Nimnik Buick GMC is located on Phillips Highway. You want a great product? Get one from Nimnik. I get my cars from Nimnik. My trucks from Nimnik. I've been doing it since 1982, and I'm proud to tell you that. So head to Nimnik today. All right, the Jaguar, the news of the day today, the Jaguars have announced which training camp dates will be open to the public. Starting Wednesday, July 23rd, which is right around the corner now, 16 days away. Thursday, July 24th, Friday, July 25th, 3 straight. The Friday, by the way, is for season ticket holders only. So the first 2 are for everybody, the Friday. Then on Sunday, the 27th, right back at it. Monday, the 28th, that's the day the pads go on. You call it the
Wyatt Milam Day.
Wyatt Milam Day. Tuesday, the 29th, also available. And then you skip to Friday, that's scrimmage. I'm looking forward to the scrimmage. I think my guess is reading the tea leaves with this front office, coaching staff, brass, they'll make that August 1st almost like a festival. That'll be a fun, don't you think?
I do.
There'll be autographs. There'll be stuff going on outside the stadium. That'll feel almost like a home preseason game in a lot of ways.
I agree. They've always done a nice job with it. They're off I believe, that Wednesday, July 30th.
Correct.
So it lines up well. So they'll have, a practice on the 31st, that Thursday. Then they've got the Friday night scrimmage. Then they're off Saturday, too. So from a rest standpoint, it certainly could be a very physical practice. We don't know how Liam Cohen will decide to do it. But the fact that it's not like the fourth practice in 4 days, or it's not the first practice coming off a break. Like the fact that they have a practice the day prior and they don't practice that Saturday the 2nd, that tells me that, that certainly it will be ripe for contact if the coaching staff wants to have it.
Yeah. So to that end, I can tell you, you want to get out and watch them. Remember this too now. You go to that scrimmage, you're going to see the ones playing. You're going to see the stars. I don't know. There's only one preseason game here. That's the Steelers game. It's the first one. I don't know how much the stars are going to play. Maybe they will. I don't know what the plan is. I wouldn't imagine they're playing very much.
I would think historically they're playing, but it's a smidge.
Yeah, and you haven't had Liam coach a team
Correct.
yet, so you don't know. So you want to get to that scrimmage. You get a chance to see some of those guys play. So again, we're all excited about it. We're all excited about where this thing's headed, and we'll certainly keep an eye on that for sure. All right. Speaking of the NFL, Kirk Cousins and by the way, do you watch the quarterback on Netflix?
I have not.
I haven't.
This one's gotten good reviews, so maybe I'll take a peek. It's
and I'm sure it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I never, for whatever reason, last summer I never got into the one that they had. I can't remember who the.
It was like Mahomes and Kirk Cousins and
Okay, so some of them are. So Cousins is doing it for a second straight year.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to say I probably won't watch it, to be honest. It's hard for me to watch football documentaries when we're this close to football.
Yeah, I'm that way.
It just drives me crazy.
Especially when you know that it's from it's all allowed to. Everything you watch, it's because they allow you to watch
that's
it.
Right.
But this clip of Burrow, I know that's not the one you're talking about, but him talking to Taylor on the sideline, that little exchange made me want to watch the show.
What was it? I don't know it.
So basically, they won against the Titans, but they were playing terribly, and like the offensive line kept jumping before the snaps. And so Taylor I keep wanting to call him Press Taylor. Taylor comes over to him on the sideline after they've basically sealed the victory, and he's like, "Hey, we won, and he's like, "No, screw that. I don't care. Like we're embarrassing. We've looked like he's really fired up about how bad they played, and it made me love Joe Burrow for sure. This guy has got a fire under him, man.
So what happens with Cousins? All right, so Cousins finally said, listen, he felt betrayed. The truth is he came out and said he might have signed with the Vikings if he knew that the Falcons were going to try and sign or draft a quarterback. He had a hunch they were going to draft one, but not that high. He had just signed a $100 million contract weeks before the draft. It was within weeks of the draft, and then they draft Michael Penix. And again, you were very outspoken about it that it made no sense. The whole thing made no sense. So finally, Kirk Cousins says, "Listen, I'm not trying to be a bad teammate, but I was blindsided a little bit by it." I still think, and I know I think your take was, Hayes, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think your take was that they'll hold on to him until someone needs a quarterback, someone of significance needs a quarterback, rather than he just goes to the Saints who are no good, right? That's your theory, right?
That's what I think is that Atlanta's hoping that interest will drum up through an injury that occurs between now and, the trade deadline.
And I just guess it seems odd to me. I mean, again, what is he, 36? He's not young.
He is 36.
Yeah, so I guess I just think every day he's not playing is a day you don't get back. I'm surprised he hasn't tried to push for something. It just seems to me the world would be better if the New Orleans Saints or some team that doesn't have a very good quarterback had him rather than the Falcons having him sitting on the bench. I don't feel that way very often about quarterbacks. As good a backup as our friend Gardner Minshew and some others have been, I haven't felt that way about them. This is one of the first guys I feel like, as hard as it is to find good quarterbacks, this one doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know that there'll be a quarterback get injured between now and week one because of how protected that these guys are. maybe it happens. I mean, the Colts are going to have to see, what they have in Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. Maybe something happens, there, although they've got two guys. So, we'll see. But there aren't very many teams that are going to put their quarterback in harm's way in the preseason. So I think what you're looking at is once the season starts, there will be quarterback injuries. Like, we're going to get to week 3, and there will probably be 3 or 4 starting quarterbacks dealing with something, whether that's season ending or whether it's for a month. But there will be a team bothered with it. And again, I go back to this team. If something were to happen to Trevor Lawrence, the Jaguars should try to make that deal for Kirk Cousins. I mean,
especially without your pick,
right? Yeah. Because again, you're not giving up anything to get him, and Atlanta is probably going to obviously pay some of the contract, but the Jaguars are in a position they could pay half the contract and send them a 4th rounder or something, and then have an obvious upgrade to Nick Mullins, somebody that could come in and would be able to play at a high level relatively quick. So that's what I think happens. I'd be surprised if he's a Falcon by the middle of October, and it might even be before that. It could be as early as week 1. If a starter gets hurt in their opening game, I would call Atlanta and I'd make a deal. If I was a team that had visions of playing in the tournament, which I think probably about 28 of them do.
Yeah, you're right. What other teams have curious quarterback situation? Is Tua? He's on a hot seat at the very least. What happened?
They're all, yeah. Miami is interesting because that one feels combustible because there is a lot of pressure on everybody in that organization. Certainly on Tua, certainly on the coach McDaniel, look, Tyreek Hill's got to prove that he's now in his 30s. Has he lost that step? His numbers really fell off last year. Jalen Waddle's numbers were a disaster last year compared to what they have been. So I think a lot of pressure on the Dolphins. I'm very eager to see how they handle that. But yeah, Tua is a guy, he's a perfect example for what we're talking about. Tua gets hit in week 1 and gets concussed. So he's now out for the rest of the year because chances are he's not coming back if he was to suffer another concussion. It doesn't have to be a concussion. It could be any season-ending ailment.
Right.
But with his history, that one would make the most sense. Well, yeah, if you're the Dolphins and you lose Tua early, you're absolutely making the deal for Kirk Cousins.
Right.
So I think Atlanta's, and I would say this to Cousins, like, be a good soldier, get through training camp, be supportive of Penix. You've made it clear. I think everybody knows now you don't like how this was handled. You don't need to belabor it. But be a good soldier just for another 6 weeks. That's all this, just the next 42 days, be a good soldier, because once the season starts, somebody is going down. One of these quarterbacks is going to get hurt, and there isn't anybody else that's even in his stratosphere that would be available for a team to go after. It's not like there's 2 or 3 other guys where they're kind of close to Kirk Cousins, so maybe you make that deal. Everybody that needs a quarterback is going to try and get Cousins. And again, I think the Falcons, they're not going to like the situation. So, they're going to want to get rid of Kirk Cousins and at least save some of that money.
What happens with Jameis? Jameis is in with the Giants.
They need to cut him or trade him. He shouldn't be the 3rd quarterback in New York. He's too talented for that.
Russ Wilson's going to be the starter. They're going to try to get Jackson Dart, who I really like, ready. Do they cut him? Do they trade him? He's on the roster.
That's who, I think it would make some sense if you were looking for a kind of a backup, New Orleans would be a good place for a good team to maybe make a move for Jameis, because he signed there, and then I don't want to say it, not to the level of Kirk Cousins, but he kind of got a raw deal. He signed there, probably thinking he was going to compete with a rookie, but maybe not a 1st round rookie, and then and then it lined up that they signed Russell Wilson and then get Dart in the draft. And so, I would think they don't need Jameis Winston. And I will say, whatever you think of Jameis Winston, he's way too overqualified to be somebody's 3rd quarterback.
Yep.
So it would make sense for the Giants to look to get something for him. Again, it's not going to be anything of great consequence. But and again, Cousins I think is substantially better. But if you're a team like the Saints, if you're a team looking for maybe a better backup, I mean, Jameis Winston is absolutely a top 38 quarterback in this league. So when you're talking backup role, he's a elite backup quarterback, and it's ridiculous for him to be anybody's third.
How surprised were you at are you surprised that Gardner Minshew landed as the backup to Mahomes? Did that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
He's a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's got a little moxie.
Right, and he's obviously incredibly intelligent. So he's exactly what, and the mania has subsided. He's no longer a star.
Right.
You know,
nobody cares about the mullet anymore.
Yeah. So the mania,
or the RV.
Yeah, that's
Good
all
point.
over. It could resurrect itself if something happened to Mahomes and they elected to go with Minshew.
But the mania
could come back.
Yeah.
But for now, it's not a story. So
he's a backup quarterback.
He's a backup quarterback, but he's dependable. He's reliable. He plays with toughness. He doesn't need a lot of reps to be game ready. So no, I think it was a smart move. He's ideal.
Final thing, on September 10th or whenever, give me the Cleveland Browns quarterback depth chart.
I'll say it's Flacco.
Flacco to start, you think?
Flacco to start, and then the two rookies will be the backups, and they'll either cut or release Pickett.
What about Deshaun Watson?
Well, they'll IR him, so he'll be on IR. So he won't really. So
he'll start on IR. You think Flacco starts, Gabriel and Shador are both on the team, and Pickett's cut?
That's what I would guess.
I'm going to guess that it's Flacco, Pickett, and they cut one of the rookies. I think Pickett will be the back. I think Pickett's going to play some football in Cleveland. Whether he starts the season as their quarterback and Flacco's the backup. The question is, they drafted both Gabriel and Shador Sanders. I don't think they're both. You think they're both on the team? I just don't see that.
I mean, and again,
a lot of ways they're the same guy.
Yeah, it's a puzzling. That was so, to take a quarterback in the third round and then come back and take one in the fifth round.
That's really weird.
Again, it's not hard to imagine that the Shador Sanders pick was an ownership pick.
Yeah.
Because you know who Stefanski and Barry wanted, the coach and GM. They wanted Dylan Gabriel. That's why he was selected in the third round. And then, my guess, as a coach and GM, you would not draft a quarterback in the third round and then take that quarterback in the fifth round.
Yeah.
And so I would assume they're under a mandate that Shador Sanders has to make the roster, and they like Gabriel. So I would bet it's going to be Flacco and two rookies and a disaster waiting to befall Cleveland.
We'll take a break. Hayes has headlines after this. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's hard to explain, but play-by-play just sounds better on the radio.
What a turn of events!
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent, Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Frank Frangie here from my bank, South State Bank. South State has been committed to delivering world-class customer service that businesses like yours and mine can count on. From personalized support to cutting-edge banking solutions, South State Bank has blended the trusted traditions we all value with the innovation you need for tomorrow. Whether you're managing cash flow or investing in growth, South State Bank is here to help you move forward. Visit southstatebank.com or visit your local branch today. That's South State, member FDIC.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Hey, it's Joe C. Summer in Jacksonville means the sun is hot, the grills are fired up, and your water heater probably full of sludge.
Nah, not mine.
Think, when was the last time you flushed your water heater out? It's okay, you can say it.
Probably never.
Flushing a water heater each year improves its efficiency and extends its lifespan.
They sure don't make them like they used to.
So call Roland Reese Plumbing for a routine water heater flush out and any other plumbing needs. 260-7059 or at plumberandjacks.com. Roland Reese Plumbing.
I'm Max Fink, and I'm your Gator Updater. Listen for the Gator Report several times a week on 1010XL.
Freshened up by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators!
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers. Anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Your yard starting to look a little like a jungle? Well, it might be time for a little TLC. Or how about RTC, Russell Tree Care? At Russell Tree Care, they give your trees the perfect haircut. Whether it's trimming or removing, they'll make sure your yard looks its best, all while keeping safety as a top priority. Call Russell Tree Care today and let them take care of your trees. Russell Tree Care, 844-4Mr. Wood. That's 844-467-9663. Or visit RussellTreeCareLLC.com today. Your trees will thank you.
Hacker here, and with 4th of July in the rearview mirror now, all eyes are pointing towards Labor Day and football season. How would you like to drop some weight prior to football season's arrival? Well, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is your answer. Back in February of 2024, I weighed 317 pounds. In just a couple of short weeks, I was down almost 40 pounds thanks to the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It's that quick. The coaching you get, the information you get, it's all perfect with Awaken 180 Weight Loss, and they can change your life very, very quickly. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor and go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Take it from me, a guy that failed in numerous diet programs over the years. I succeeded with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
It's hurricane season. Protect your home with 904 Gutters with a Z. That's right. Z as in zone defense for your home. Water damage hits hard. 904 Gutters with a Z hits back harder. Search 904 Gutters with a Z and make the right call.
The best golfing weather is upon us, and Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to enjoy your next round of golf with us. Our welcoming atmosphere and love for golf keep our friends coming back. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
Yes, hopefully you won't need them. Hopefully you won't get injured. But if you do, Harrell & Harrell, that is who you need to call. Fantastic people, great family. 251-1111. They'll take great care of you. Frank, we are going to start it off with the Jaguars announcing 9 open practices starting July 23rd. Tickets and parking are free, but you do need to register in advance on the team website. Fans should be comfortable with that. They've been doing that for years now. There will be a scrimmage in the stadium on Friday, August the 1st, probably sometime late afternoon, early evening. And the first padded practice is Monday, July 28th.
Yeah, I'm guessing around 7 o'clock or so for that scrimmage. I can't wait. Let's go. Hayes, let's go. We had this conversation yesterday. It was such an active off season, and there were so many storylines. It kept coming up that there wasn't much of an off season, and that's okay. It's hard to believe. I feel like we walked off the field on the final mini camp an hour ago, and an hour from now they're back there. I'm sure they probably feel that way because their off season isn't very long either. So I can't wait to see it keep going.
Yeah, without a doubt. We haven't talked much about the other teams in the NFL because the Jaguars have been so busy throughout the off season. Let's talk about the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. They will get their rings on July 18th. What do you think the chances of a repeat are for Philadelphia?
Well, it's hard to repeat in that league. Now, you say that, well, the Patriots and the Chiefs and others have done it. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. I think they've got a good team. They're physical. They're a little bit one-dimensional, and I think it's a little bit hard when you're that. But they're certainly one of the 2 or 3 teams to beat. But I don't know that if you asked me to bet that they would win it again with all the quarterback equity and there is in the AFC, I would probably predict that one of those AFC teams with the great play of Mahomes and Josh Allen, Lamar, and Burrow might come out of there.
ESPN's Bill Barnwell ranked the best wide receiver, running back, tight end combinations in the NFL today. He's got the Jaguars 18th. That's 3rd in the AFC South, although none are spectacular. Barnwell has Houston 14, Indy 16. As we mentioned, the Jags 18th, and the Titans are last.
This is quarterback, running back, tight end.
Tight end. Yep. Or I'm sorry, receiver, running back, tight end.
Okay. Receiver, running. I got you. Yeah. Receiver, running back, tight end.
Weighted more on receiver than running back or tight end.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Jags, when they do this next year, will be very high on that list.
Yeah, they should.
What you just read off,
potential to jump.
When they do this next year, I bet they're very high.
Yeah, in terms of the top 5, Barnwell has Philadelphia first, followed by the Lions, Bengals, 49ers, and Rams.
Every one of those teams have a really good back. You know that? So they have receivers as well. But the fact that the Eagles are first, well, they got the best back, so I'm not surprised.
A couple of interesting notes outside of the top 5 in the AFC South. The Jags' opening opponent, Carolina, is ranked 31st on Barnwell's list, so hopefully Anthony Campanile will be able to keep Carolina to a low number in the opener. This one was really interesting to me. He's got the Bills 28th. It really illuminates the star power of Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And why he was such a deserving MVP despite Lamar Jackson's incredible stats as well. I mean, I don't know if that's right. If I would have Buffalo 28th. But boy, does that speak, because I think Buffalo, explosive offense because of Josh Allen.
But you know what?
But you just don't realize how little he has to work with.
But when you say that, I wouldn't think of them that low. But then I think, okay, James Cook's a nice back, not a great back. Receivers, nobody really jumps off the page in terms of wide receivers.
And Kincaid's been disappointing.
Dalton Kincaid is a good player, but he is underwhelmed in some big moments. It sounds crazy when you say it until I think about it. Now, maybe James Cook's a better back than we're giving him credit for, but I hear you. It's surprising.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's get to college football. The Athletic ranked the best rivalries. They did a top 100 best rivalries in the sport of college football. Ohio State, Michigan topped the list, followed by the Iron Bowl.
Right.
Then it got a little surprising. Miami, Florida State is 7th.
This is all time?
All time.
Okay.
Florida State is 9th, ahead of Georgia, Florida being 12th, which I can't get behind that.
Yeah.
Florida, Tennessee is 36th, which is way too low. And FSU, Clemson is 52nd.
Yeah, I don't know what the metrics are, what the criteria are. It sounds like it's the best. If FSU Miami's ahead of Florida Georgia, it's the level of football. So it might be level of, but Alabama Auburn, if it was level of football, would be 7th or 8th. If it was is my friend Jeff Freeze one time interviewed Keith Jackson, and he asked him the best college football rivalries, and Keith Jackson said, for sheer ferocity, I'll take Alabama Auburn. Okay, well, for sheer ferocity, it's first. But Michigan, Ohio State has both. Really good football and intense hatred. That's an interesting list. Again, We used to talk about this in the 90s. If you wanted the best football rivalry, it's Miami FSU. There was no second. If you wanted the best around here, you wanted the best rivalry in terms of fanfare and pageantry, it was Florida Georgia. So it's interesting. I don't know what the criteria is there.
He didn't really. It was loose. I mean, I think he's just. Honestly, I think it was just based on what you would think. Intensity of the hatred. How often they play big time games. I will say this. I've kind of come around that Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan has moved ahead of the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
Which I never thought I'd say.
But you know why?
But I really do think Michigan, Ohio State has, because the stakes have been higher.
Right.
The hatred to me is about the same.
Right.
They both just hate each other with every bit of their being.
Right.
But I do think Michigan, Ohio State has overtaken the Iron Bowl.
Well, here's why too. They both have titles. Think about that. I mean, the Ohio State just won the damn thing. Michigan's not far removed from winning it. I mean, if you look at the fact is both those programs are on top. Auburn hasn't been near the top in a while. I mean, Alabama's on top. I mean, if it was Alabama,
and Auburn's held their own. I mean, they've had some great games and upsets.
But if Alabama Georgia was a rivalry, then it would be ahead of Michigan, Ohio State, because those two teams have been so good.
It was interesting. He had Georgia, Alabama on this list,
but it's not
around
a rivalry.
The 50s. But yeah, it's because they've been great lately.
Right, but if it was a rivalry, then it might be ahead of Michigan, Ohio State. Alabama, Auburn's not, because frankly, Auburn has held up its end of the bargain in a while. That's the reality.
Yeah, absolutely. SEC Media Days is next week. Frank, you'll be there with Matt Hayes. Florida has announced they are taking DJ Lagway, center Jake Slaughter, and defensive tackle Caleb Banks.
I think we predicted that. We were trying to guess which. I think we landed on Lagway and Slaughter. I'm trying to remember, did we say Sapp or Banks?
Yeah, we knew one of the two.
We knew one of the two. So here's what they did. They took the first team AP All-American center in Slaughter. They took a guy who's a likely first rounder in Banks. And they took DJ Lagway. So I'll give them credit. They got it right. That's a good sign for the start of this thing, because how many times you'll see a team do it and they didn't get it right. They clearly got the three that the media are going to want to talk to. I don't know that it's their best players. You take Lagway out of the conversation. He's the quarterback. Slaughter and Banks might be their two best offensive defensive players. Quite frankly, Dallas Wilson and Miles Graham might be their best offensive and defensive players. But they took the most prominent one, so they got it right.
Does it make you feel better about Lagway that they're taking him from a health standpoint?
Yeah.
Because they know he's going to be littered with questions about it.
I think he's healthy. Now, my fear isn't that he's going to come into the season not healthy. I do have a little fear that he gets hurt again, but I think he's healthy.
In the NBA, Orlando gives rising superstar Paolo Banchero a 5-year contract extension that could max out at $278 million. The 22-year-old averaged 25.9 points per game with 7.5 rebounds and 4.8 assists last season.
I think the Magic, and JJ explained it way better than I did earlier, saying this isn't an atypical deal for a guy in his circumstance, and I believe you, JJ. But I believe the Magic are saying, it is now our time. Banchero, Wagner, Suggs, Bain, they believe is as good a four-man nucleus as anybody in the league has these days, certainly anybody in the East. And I think they believe, that's why I asked the question at the top of the program, if the Magic become legit, does it reel us in 2.5 hours away from the arena? I think maybe it does, because I think the Magic believe this is their time. Whether they're right or not, we'll see, Hayes. But I think the Magic believe this is their time.
The Pacers have confirmed Tyrese Halliburton will miss all of next season. Is that a surprise at all that they're not even allowing for the chance that maybe he could return right as the tournament starts? Or it's better off just to tank the season and get a great
and again,
pick?
A doctor's a better person to ask that question, but so I'm not surprised. But it's still just alarming how Jason Tatum and now Halliburton, Lillard before, that these guys that just boom, 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 it snaps, you're done. It's almost like a Tommy John in baseball now. It's almost like I don't want to say you're expecting it, but just you blink and those guys are done. Most sports injuries are 3 weeks, 2 weeks, week and a half, month. Most sports injuries in all these sports, they add up to you'll be back in when? You don't have all these season-ending injuries. That's why I rail so much about Tommy John. Tommy John is the most season-ending prevalent injury in the history of American sport. Well, it seems like these basketball Achilles are right behind it, doesn't it?
It does.
And by the way, Deshaun Watson tried to come back and tore his Achilles.
Oh, he retore it. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that it's like an injury that's really easy to screw up. So I think that's why a lot of these NBA teams are like, hey, just sit out the whole year. Don't try to rush it back. It's not worth it.
Yeah, that makes sense. In the world of Major League Baseball, ESPN had an interesting article where they consider trades for Paul Skeens and Ronald Acuna Jr. Would either of you listen to offers for your star player?
I'll go first. No, because Skeens is more than because it doesn't matter. The Pirates are never going to spend enough to compete. So why not have this charismatic pitcher that everybody's talking about? If I thought they could compete, the Braves are different. The Braves can compete. The Pirates can't compete, so I say, AJJ, I say, at least for my guy, absolutely not.
Yeah, I would. So the Braves still have 3 years of club control after this year with Acuna, so I wouldn't do it right now. I mean, I'd always be listening, but I really wouldn't get serious about it until there's about like a year and a half left. And then if it looks like we're going to have a guy who doesn't want to re-sign here, then you got to get rid of him. But the Braves, to me, they still have him under control for too long. I wouldn't do it yet.
Sounds good. Let's get it to the world of pop culture, because this week in 1994, this happened.
And called the All-America team, where you get to meet the President of the United States.
President Kennedy met with the Collegiate All-American football team at the Oval Office today.
Now, the really good thing about meeting the President of the United States is the food. They put you in this little room with just about anything you want to eat or drink. And since, number one, I wasn't hungry but thirsty, and number two, they was free, I must have drank me about 15 Dr. Peppers.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
It's an honor, sir.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
Very good, sir.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
Very good, sir.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I gotta pee.
I believe he said he had to go pee.
What a fun movie. The film starring Tom Hanks won 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director for Robert Zemeckis, and a Best Actor win for Hanks. Forrest Gump had a $55 million budget and earned $678 million at the box office. The soundtrack sold over 12 million copies, a true cultural achievement celebrating its 31st anniversary today.
I remember where I was. I went to see it. I was in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. My wife, my daughter, who was 2, and I went up to Johnstown. All my relatives had not seen Amber. She was 2 years old, so we took her up there to see all my cousins and uncles and aunts. And while we were up there, and my mom went with us, and they all watched Amber, and Suzanne and I went to the movie, so I remember seeing it. Forrest Gump is the one movie, in my opinion, that there's never been another movie anything like it.
Right.
That was why Jaws was great, but there's been other monsters of the sea. There've been other creatures. It's the one, you can go on and on. It's the one movie that, because of the way the storyline was designed, there's never been another, in my opinion, a movie of significance. There's never been another one like it. It's the most uniquely made movie, in my opinion, of all time.
I think you have a strong argument there. It is certainly a masterpiece, and hard to believe 31 years ago today, Forrest Gump released in theaters. We will get you out on our musical note of the day. What a weekend it was for concerts. We talked about the final Black Sabbath show yesterday. Well, today we're going to give Oasis their due. The reunion tour begun last weekend in Wales. The Gallagher brothers are finished feuding, at least for now. Oasis hadn't performed since 2009. Reviews were incredibly strong for the show. It's going to be tough to see them in the U.S. They're performing at MetLife, the stadium up in East Rutherford. They're performing in Chicago at Soldier Field and in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl. That's really it for their U.S. dates, at least for now. This is Wonderwall.
I will tell you this. Oasis was after my time, so I don't know their music very well. But reading the stories about the reunion, pretty amazing the way they connect with their audience. You know that.
And the crowds have been epic.
Epic. In the stories, in the history, I wouldn't have known. I really wouldn't have. So great work as always. Thanks. We'll be back. We'll wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The NBA offseason continuing on. A couple notes from yesterday. The Magic gives star Paolo Banchero a 5-year contract extension. It is a maximum rookie deal. He gets $239 million, could reach $287 million. That's good news. Bad news for the Pacers. They have confirmed that star point guard Tyrese Halliburton is going to miss the entire upcoming season after surgery to repair a torn Achilles tendon. Right now, the Magic with plus 1,600 odds to win the championship next year. They trail only the Rockets, Cavaliers, Nuggets, Knicks, and Thunder. Pacers have plus 7,000 odds. They're in the middle of the pack.
Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Got a clogged drain that just won't quit? It's time to bring in the pros. Duck Duck Rooter.
I called Duck Duck Rooter for a clogged kitchen drain. They showed up fast and had it cleared in no time. No mess, no stress.
We've seen it all. Grease clogs, hairballs, mystery goo from the deep. Whatever's blocking your pipes, we'll get it flowing again. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule your drain cleaning service. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Hi, I'm Karen, owner of Clay Solar Installation Partners, your local women-owned solar company. At Clay Solar, we're more than just panels and power. We're about people. We make the switch to clean energy simple, stress-free, and built to last. If you've had a bad experience with solar in the past, we can help. We specialize in dependable solutions and top-notch customer service, so you can finally enjoy the savings and sustainability you deserve. Schedule your free consultation at claysolar.com.
Experience professional grade at Nimnick Buick GMC, home of the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. This month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s or enjoy rates as low as 0% APR financing. That's right, 0%. You can't find deals like this anywhere else in Jacksonville. Nimnick also has the largest selection of GMC's impressive SUV lineup, like the all-new redesigned GMC Acadia and the highly sought-after Yukon and Yukon XL. Curious about an EV? Well, you can save big with the all-new GMC Hummer EV, SUV, and truck, plus the all-new GMC Sierra EV. Now with cash incentives, now is the time to take an EV test drive. So shop at Nimnick today. That's Nimnick Buick GMC. Who's got the best prices, the best products? Nobody but Nimnick. We are professional grade GMC.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it. They do it, whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
This summer, you can beat the heat at Best Bet, your premier poker destination. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a first-time card player, you'll find a cool retreat from the summer heat with thrilling games, big payouts, and refreshing drinks. Join us for an unforgettable experience. Cool off and cash in at Best Bet. The stakes are high, the cards are hot, and your chance for fun is guaranteed. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
It's about the hunt.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Loggeman. We take you from the water to the woods.
On the Nimnit Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
Let's go to the woods, y'all.
Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Celebrate National Carpet Cleaning Month with Zero Res. Hicken here. Check this out. $45 per room of carpet clean. Take 20% off your air duct services. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of the savings.
Zero Res. When the sun goes down, you might think a golf course shuts down, but not at the Golf Club of Southampton. Join the gang every Thursday night for trivia with Brooke and Jason, and everybody's favorite night, Friday night on the patio, featuring local musicians, food, and drink. It's all at the Golf Club of Southampton. Great golf. You've come to expect that. But don't forget, when night falls, the fun doesn't stop. Trivia every Thursday night and Southampton's live music patio session Fridays. Call 287-PLAY to make a tee time and the good time.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is JJ with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
The first half champion Jumbo Shrimp are home this week at Five Star Ballpark. Tonight is a Stallmeyer 2 for Tuesday with Dollar Dogs. Tomorrow is Charity Begins at Home featuring Dreams Come True, and the weekend kicks off with Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. JTA presents Friday fireworks to the first 2,000 fans to the main gate on Saturday. Get a Jumbo Shrimp Mummy Hawaiian shirt presented by Swisher. Kids round the bases after Sunday's game.
Rebound Rehabilitation. 11 great locations across the First Coast, and they're just a click away when it comes to feeling strong and healthy again. If you need the best path to recovery, look no further than Rebound Rehab. Log on and check out one of their great 11 locations.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coating. Pool decks, driveways, garages, patios, we coat them all to make your neighbors jealous.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball now offers web stores, so your employees can order their own branded gear, and you have more time for Wordle. Check it out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, today on the course of the program, we talked about that Paulo Banchero deal. We talked about it a bunch because the Magic are 2.5 hours away, and we asked the question, will it inspire interest around here if they're pretty good? So we'll certainly keep an eye on that. We did college over and unders. Did you go over and under the expected win total for the colleges around here? We talked a little NFL football. We talked about the Jags and the training camp open dates. The dates the training camp will be open to the public. We went all over those and certainly talked a great deal about the NFL with regard to Kirk Cousins and other stories there. Rick Ballou will be in a minute. We'll say hello to him. In the meantime, there's a lot of talk about the throwback uniforms. I think they can wear the Prowler uniforms 4 times, I think it is. So you can wear it 4 times among your, is it 8 home games this year?
It's 9 this year, right?
Is it not? So
I think it's a 9-8 year.
So then 8 here. Okay, so it's not because one will be in
Correct.
London. Yeah. So 8 games. It is because there's 2 road games in the preseason. So there'll be 8 games played in Jacksonville. They can wear the Prowlers 4 times, I think. Am I right about that? I think it's 4.
I think that's right.
I think you can wear them 4 times, and I think they will exercise that.
And Baselli said they're going to.
Yeah. So here's what I will tell you. How many? Do you know how many more years before they can change their uniform? Is it? We got to be close.
It's got to be like.
I think it's 5. I think it's 5. I think you have to wear the same essential design 5 years. So I think they have to be within a year or 2. Is there any doubt in your mind now they're going back to that uniform?
No.
There's not. I haven't heard one dissenting opinion that that's what they should do. I mean, everybody's in agreement. I mean, a lot of times uniforms are controversial. They came up with the two-tone helmet. Everybody hated it. Then they came the gold mustard Thursday night bold rush things. And then when they went to this new uniform, people wanted a little more trim on it. There wasn't enough trim. When they went away from the original uniforms and went to the black pants, some people didn't like that. People didn't like the black jerseys. But nobody debates the originals. The Prowlers, they call them the Prowlers, which are actually the 99, not the 95, 96, but it's essentially the same. No, with the teal, with the white pants, the gold and black trim. I mean, have you heard anybody? I mean, literally
everybody
anybody.
loves them.
Like, literally everybody.
Yeah.
Usually when you say everybody.
This will be the last uniform change this organization will ever need to make.
I mean, usually when you say everybody, you're talking about most everybody. In this case, I think it's everybody.
It feels that way.
It feels like everybody. So, yeah, I would think once the NFL allows them to change back, and by the way, I wish that rule wasn't I get it. You can't be changing every year because you're trying to sell merchandise, and I understand that. But I wish the rule wasn't in place. I wish by now, when it's obvious, the Jags would love to go back to those uniforms. It'd be nice if they could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they could. So, all right,
Won't be long.
Yeah, that's right. Let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
Over and under, Knowles 7. Where are you going?
Right on the number. That's why it's a hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think 7-5 is realistic.
Okay.
I think 7-5 probably saves his job if these recruits stay on. Anything under, I think he's gone. The recruits leave.
Gators 7.5. Where are you going?
Brutal schedule. We did this a week ago. I had him at 8.
Okay, so you're going over.
Yep.
Miami 9. Where are you going?
Got to look at it again. I know they open up with Florida. I probably would have to go through that schedule one more time until I gave it an answer.
Dogs 9.5. Where are you going?
Over.
Going over.
Yeah.
We did the same thing.
Over.
Until you prove otherwise to me, I'm going to go over with you. So there you go. All right. There you go. I mean, I hope people right now, Rick Ballou says that you go with it.
There you go. But it doesn't matter, right? Because according to, aren't commissioners, they lie as much as politicians, don't they? I can't believe the story out of the Big 12 today that they're the most competitive conference in college football. Before I read the article, I actually did a quiz. I was like, can you name the teams in the Big 12? And I was completely wrong. I got like 3 right, for crying out loud. And they're calling it the most competitive conference in college football.
That's awesome.
It's amazing, these guys.
What's tonight?
We got a lot tonight. A lot of good things to do. As a matter of fact, I haven't done a lot on Florida State. Now Lawrence Stample's going to join me in an hour. He's really connected to the program, so the latest there. Plus, I got something on the Jags. A little bit of good news on the Jaguars coming up here in our very first hour. So fired up for it.
All right. Rick Ballou, he goes into the night. That comes up right now. That'll do our program tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.